Is it working, Ronnie? Okay.
I left it on.
It is with great pleasure this morning that I introduce our speaker to you, the Reverend Constance Johnson. She is an ordained minister by the Alliance of Divine Love since 1988. So she's been around a while. Her studies include metaphysics, includes angels, counselings, and crystals, past life regression, Reiki. Constance is an author of a book with 53 angel portraits and has designed a deck of Egyptian cards. Did you bring anything with you?
Oh, yes.
You brought your books?
My friend Jovial.
Okay.
And some of my artwork.
Okay. So without due hesitation, let us give a warm welcome to Constance.
Let me get all my technologies turned on here. There we go. I think that's one. Green light, am I on? Yes? Okay, now my notes. Old technology. All right. I know Dr. T wanted to have 50 attend, and believe me, they did, because when you all walked in, the energy in this room went like this. And I had to ground myself because I was almost on the ceiling. So you brought your angels with you, which is a wonderful thing to do, to share them with everyone. And most of them get ignored, so they are very happy to have you notice them. And I just thought of some questions people might ask, because I know you're at all different levels you're very well aware of angels, and you probably work with them, some of you more than I. But I thought I would try and cover a few questions. And the very first one is, what is an angel? And today being Easter, we look to the holy books for definitions. And we see in there that it's a spirit created by God who remains in spirit. Unlike us, they don't come down here and have a life and a body and all the things that entails. Lucky. But we have an advanced learning here. This is a school, and we are getting things that the angels think is just marvelous because they don't understand. It's a mystery, so that's why they're so interested in us. And a second definition, and this is the one I like the best, is an angel is a person who fulfills a prompting from God to give a message, help someone, or guide someone through a hard spot in life. And you've all been angels, either knowingly or unknowingly. You've asked for this, and at times it's a stranger. You can just tell they're hurting, and you might even just send them a prayer. Like if you're driving down I-4 and you see a wreck, you would be in the way to stop, but you're never in the way to pray for the people that are coming to be helpful and all. You'll know what to say when it happens. I met my angel personally in 1986. That's 26 years ago. So I have had a lot of experience, and he brought friends with him, and I consider him in a way to be like my boss. I work with him. And my angel is named Michael, and I've got a nice little piece of artwork that I'm wearing here over my sacred heart to remind me that he prompts me in a lot of things that I do. And I have asked him to give you a message today, which will be my spiritual gift that I will share. Now, how does an angel contact? My angel contacts me in meditations. It was wonderful. Your meditation was absolutely wonderful. All the angels of the different rays came, and they touched me and calmed me down, which was very helpful. In dreams, we have dreams about our angels, and they don't always look like the Christmas card. So we have to be aware that we may be in contact with an angel if there's something a little different. Also, a subliminal thought. When you're about to reach for that next cookie or something worse, you go, That's your angel going, you don't want to do that because, and then here comes stuff that mom told you and some other things. Your karma is very important because you carry it forever. So a subliminal thought. Also as a feeling. You get feelings. For example, going down I-4 and there's a wreck again. You can feel a wreck before you turn around the corner. You know there's something that's definitely wrong, and you just know to pray and send your healing energies towards that. How do I know it is my angel and not something else? Recognition symbols. You set it up with them. They don't really speak English. They speak symbols. It's like dreams and dream interpretation. You set up a language so that you know he or she, your angel could be a she, will come and give you certain cues that it is them. And even 26 years, I still ask for that because there are tricksters and imposters. As above, so below. A law of the universe. Okay. Recognition symbol, a color. A color ray. Most of the angels come to me on a color ray. They pick a particular color that suits me. I go and I look in all the books and I see Archangel Michael and he's wearing blue. Well, he comes to me in red. My color, my favorite color is red, not blue. So they will do as you want. They make their energy match yours in order to connect with you and be at one with you. A scent. Michael told me if he is around and he wants my attention, there will be cinnamon in the air. And I'm not in the kitchen and there's nobody with cinnamon buns nearby. So cinnamon in the air, and he must want my attention. And I'm kind of slow, so sometimes he'll pinch my ear. I've told him to pinch my left ear right about here, and I can literally feel him just right here, and there's nobody standing there and go, oh, it's you. But this is how he makes himself known to me. And you can work this out with your angel and your guides. This works with your guides as well, because they can do things to touch you where you will feel it. Seeing my angel. Peripheral vision. I am sure many of you see spirit. I learned a long time ago it's out here. It's the peripheral vision. Our eyes have certain rods and cones. I'm not a scientist. I don't remember which is which. One of them sees color and the other one sees black and white, the grays. And that's what's in the peripheral vision. Also a dim light. Everybody that's been to a seance knows you do the dim light because you see with a capital S in dim light. So I have learned not to get whiplash by whipping my head to the side. I see you. Well, I don't when I do that. So I just go, hi, I know you're there. Reflections in a mirror or a shiny surface of some kind. The other night we were having a meeting in our house, and one of the people, not me, somebody at the group, saw one of our little angels come in. It's a little blue streak. I've got a wall full of mirrors. I have a 1986 house. And she's the only one that saw it. It was a little blue arc of color, and it came down into the room. I go, oh, that's nice. That's one of the little ones that was there that evening. A symbolic animal. Butterflies, frogs. Raphael likes to be a frog. If anyone's familiar with Archangel Raphael, he's the patron of all healers. And he loves to sing and make fun. If you laugh, you're healthy. You can't be sick and laugh. So he does ridiculous things. And, if we see frogs in weird places, Raphael is around. Yesterday, at John's Fairy Festival, Jophiel, there behind Dr. Thomas, sends me a ridiculous airplane. We had 4 ridiculous airplanes fly over during the course of the day. And at the very beginning of the day, my husband saw when John had put a spiral to walk, a little labyrinth, and there was a little Piper Cub. And a Piper Cub doesn't go like a jet airplane and go. A Piper Cub goes in a spiral to ascend. It was flying over our spiral, ascending. And Louis was the only one that noticed it. And Jophiel's like, hi, I'm here. I'm just letting you know that I'm in the area. Another way they can contact you is through sounds. A signature song. When we were all young and in love, we had a song with our best boyfriend, girlfriend. They can also have a song that touches you very deeply, and you will hear it at times when you need to. It will either be, you might be in the grocery store and it's in the music, and all of a sudden you already know the words, and pay attention to what those words were, because your angel is telling you something with that song. A particular bird call. I have an owl that lives in the neighborhood where I live, and when I do a channeling, the owl will come and go, whoo, letting me know that was a particularly good session and I was being a clear channel. Just saying, who was it that was here? Also, dogs barking. When Jophiel comes, he brings a lot of what we consider to be young angels. We know they don't have children like we do, but they have young ones, and they go to school. And he brings them, and they go throughout the neighborhood, and they pull the dogs' tails, and they, pinch the cats. And so all of a sudden, the dogs will start barking further and further away. And what is it? It's the angels are there. Names. Knowing a name is a very sacred thing. All the ancient literature will tell you that people used to have names that they did not let anyone know. And God has a hidden name, or 72 if you read certain books. Getting your angel's name is a very important thing because this gives you a way to call. It's like having a phone number. You want to have their name if you can. And they will not necessarily give you a name that is a known name. There are only a few angel names that are, I think there's only 3 in the ordinary Bible. The Catholic Bible has an additional book of Tobit, and that's where Raphael. That's only 4 names. Good angels. There's a few non-good ones, but there's only 4 names in the Bible. So where do all these names come from? There's esoteric literature. What is important is who is that angel to you? And the name may be symbolic. It might be something like Tom or Steve, something ordinary, but it's between the two of you. Also, your angel may have a name for you that is between the two of you again. It's like your mother used to have a pet nickname for you. Nobody else called you by that name but your mother. Well, your angel may have a name for you. And rejoice in that when you get it. And you might just want to keep that to yourself and not ever tell anyone. That's another recognition symbol. If the spirit coming to you calls you by this name, most likely it is your angel. How do I contact my angel? I have a working relationship. It's almost like being in an office building and he's around and I'm around, and if he needs me for something, he contacts me or I contact him. I do a lot of writing and research and teachings, and so I'm always digging things up. So I know that most of the time I can get him. If he is busy, he has others that he will send instead. I use my recognition symbols. 26 years I still use the recognition symbols. It's like our identity, as above, so below. We have an identity theft problem down here. Well, we have an identity theft problem up there too. So just be careful. I also, if I have something I can't find, the internet's getting harder and harder to find things in, I form my query very clearly. I go through and form a question or a need very clearly. The clearer you are with your question, and anybody that does readings knows this, the clearer the question, the clearer the response. So, instead of yes, we want more detail than yes or no or maybe. We want to know a little more. So the more detail you put into it, the better it is. Your prayers also. Your angel will work with you. When you pray, anyone who's had a prayer ministry knows when 2 or more are gathered in the name of Christ, Christ is there with you, lifting the prayers, and he's already said he has the hotline. He's got the red telephone. God will hear it. And your angel works up there. Your angel will make sure your prayer is heard and answered. So you don't have to worry about this prayer is too little, I don't know how to do it. You pray with your angel. Meditation, mediumship, channeling, these are all ways that I contact Michael. And he and the others, because I don't just work with Michael. After all, he is a busy angel too. And artistic expression. Anybody who is a musician or an artist, a performing art, anything, there is another part of their brain that they use. And that brain has a direct, it's an extra wireless connection to heaven. Behind Dr. Thomas is a drawing I did years ago of Raphael. And I will ask you afterwards to come up and look at it if you're interested. I did a series of them, and I have also from my book, if you want to see some here. It just, by drawing it, and I'll tell you very quickly how I did, I looked at a blank piece of paper. I got in mind who I wanted to come sit for a portrait, and I would take like a snapshot. Remember Polaroids, where they develop over time? I would just rub my hand over the piece of paper, putting the energy, and then I'd start to see it. And quickly, while it was still there, I would just draw in the details. And that's how I did it. What can your angel do for you? protection of your physical body and environment. Have you ever passed through the middle of a horrendous wreck and you didn't get touched? I did one night going through Ocala. It was a winter night, dark at night. It was raining. I had left Macon, Georgia. My windshield wipers were frozen in place because it was up in Macon, Georgia, and not down here. And a wreck happened in front of me and behind me, and I made it through. I had a little tape. This is back with the days of tape cassettes. And the next song on the tape was Hallelujah. And boy, I'm going, sometimes boring is good. So they can protect not only you physically, but your environment around you. So that means wherever you are, people are protected around you just because they're near you. And we all have fat auras when we become spiritual. Our auras get larger and larger so that we are encompassing others around us. I get guidance from my angel about the best choice to make in an issue. There's also teaching about the heavenlies and the part you play in creation, because this creation is still, it's in process, and we are all part of it. We all act and do things. God does not have hands, but we do, and we're part of it. Companionship during trials, times of trial, and that is invaluable. I can't tell you how valuable it is to know that I am not alone when bad things are happening and it seems like my life is going down in flames. Also, sharing the joy. Sharing the joy. I just recently I've got grandchild number 3. This is particularly joyful for me because this is my son's first child. And the feelings that I had in my heart when I got to hold him for the first time, I just shared it. It was wonderful. What about the silent times? Everybody has doldrums. The angels have not left you. Something is wrong with your spiritual hearing. So, they are not limited by geography. They can be in 2 places at once. So what you need to do, if you are hearing nothing from your angels and guides, you need to look to yourself and see what can I do to unblock. And Dr. T was talking about that in his message this morning. He unblocked by releasing some things and some people from his life that are no longer useful. And I'm sure his hearing went up quite a bit because of this. What is the biggest surprise for me about angels? They have definite personalities. Anybody know this for sure? Because it surprised me. I thought angels were, nice little, they're as above, so below. I don't have any, little people around me that are without a personality. Everyone has a personality. They have a sense of humor. They love to play. And a matter of fact, they probably don't play enough. That's why the Fairy Festival was so useful yesterday. They have specific interests and gifts. God has given them each a mission. They are to work on a particular something, perhaps our environment, particular person, all kinds of things. And they have a special gift that makes this possible. And this was the thing that I've been learning from them lately. They are God-directed beings, whereas we are self-directed. We have free will, and they are always in conscious communication with God, knowing what God wants them to do. We can be in conscious communication with God of our choice. That's the difference in us, in addition to having a body. And whenever Jesus appears, sometimes in my channelings or meditations, and I'm talking to my angels, Jesus will appear. All the other angels, they bow before him because he is the boss. It's the Christ energy. Christ energy is what Michael explained it to me. He said it's the first step of creation. When God first began to create, the first thing that was created was the Christ energy. And we are all within that. We are all a spark of the Christ energy, and it's right here in our spiritual heart. If you've ever seen the Catholic statues of Jesus with the flames above the heart, that's the spark. And he kept telling us repeatedly, You can do as I have done. You are my brother. You're supposed to love your brother or your neighbor as yourself. And he meant that's what he was doing, and he wanted us to do the same. So they always honor. Geez, that's another test for them. If you're really not sure, bring the Christ in. Because what doesn't like the Christ energy, you probably won't like either. Now, do I have any questions from any of you or any comments that you would like to make about your angels or anything about the angelic realm? Okay, I've got two. The lady in pink first.
Would you say that a special holiday like today, Easter, is also something that is relating angelic?
Remember, as above, so below, and yes, indeed, they do have choirs. Some people have been lucky enough to hear the angels singing at a moment, like either on a holiday or like when my grandson was born, or something when you've taken a great step, like you're decided to throw off addictions. Some people get to hear the choir singing. And yes, they do. They do rejoice, and they are very happy in that. And it's wonderful. What was your question?
It was just, you were talking about an accident you went through.
Yes.
We were going through Hartford, Connecticut, 3 women, 2 dogs, going out to a holistic person,
Mm-hmm.
3 hours away,
Mm-hmm.
and it was icing out. And they had a nice S-curve. And someone said, did you say the protection prayer? And I said, I would always go around. I'm having to say it more and more and more. And as we avoided somebody, we hit the cement divider, but right before we hit, flashes of white went right in. And instead of a slam bang, it was like that for the whole car. And one person had heard things fall off.
Uh-huh.
When we get to the destination, we never even stopped. We just kept going.
Kept going.
It wasn't a scratch, and nothing was missing.
And no whiplash.
But the animals had been hyper, and they just settled right down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was just amazing.
That's great. Thank you very much for sharing that. I would love to collect, and people do collect and have published books of stories such as that, and they can happen to you. Hopefully they're all good like that, and it's, but there are times we go through trials, and the angels are just as helpful for that. I would like to close my talk with a poem. That's another expression of art, and this Gabriel was the author of this poem, and I'd like to give you a copy. It's called The Message. A message from the Father, delivered just to you, designed to get attention so you will follow through. Comes not when you expect it or when you want to hear from him. Instead, it comes in his time when you're out on a limb. He says, you are my child, dear, the one I care about. You are the best for this job. I sent my finest scout. To me, he has reported that no one else will do. So I have sent this message especially to you. Whatever God is asking and wanting you to do is for the best of all his children, me and you. You could be just like Moses and take a pause or two. But God is more persuasive than anyone you knew. So listen to his message that God is sending you. I am just the bearer, but I may help you too. If you need understanding or don't know what to do, just ask him. He will tell you and prompt you in all you'll do. You'll find you have the courage, the strength to follow through. This is what God told me, and you can share it too. God does love all his children, and what he wants from you is that you love each other as he would have you do. Thank you.